Hey guys, this is Danielle with Celestial Divine Design. Make sure that you don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, be sure to click on subscribe. And if you want to be notified of new videos, it'll give you a choice of how you want to be notified. So today's video is going to be Uber horror stories you won't believe. So shout out to www.theclever.com who came up with a list of 20 shocking Uber horror stories that you won't believe. So are Uber drivers safe? That's the question you're going to be asking yourself after you hear today's story. I myself have used Uber one time, and we were fortunate to have a really great guy who was very responsible, nice, and not weird. So these days, the most popular way to get around is through Uber. People don't use taxi and buses as much as they did, especially if, they are going out drinking with friends and want to get home safely and not drive. They'll call an Uber. Um, the San Francisco-based ride sharing company is the sixth largest internet company in the world by revenue, according to the article. What's not to love about service that flags down a driver in an area for a lower price? The whole Uber concept is genius and has been praised worldwide, but we have to feel sorry for what some Uber passengers and drivers go through. So in recent years, various shocking Uber stories have surfaced. Some are about drivers from hell, and others are about aggressive riders who are impossible to handle. So basically, some wackadoo, crazy, loony person being a passenger in your vehicle. That can't be scary, right? In fact, lately, Uber has been facing immense criticism due to the multiple videos that have emerged on the web almost every month. Most of these videos paint a different picture about Uber and cast doubt on a service that is believed to be a 21st century revolution from traditional taxis. Since its inception in 2009, the company has been particularly questioned about its screening process after several reported assaults by drivers. Uber, on the other hand, has defended itself, claiming that drivers are independent contractors and not direct employees of Uber. Company has always defended itself that it is an online marketplace and not a transportation provider. I myself can't help to wonder, do they have some type of screening process even if they're independent contractors? Tell me what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. This article lists 20 different stories in regards to the horror stories of whether being an Uber driver or an Uber passenger. If you want to see the whole entire article, please go and look in the detail screen down below, where I will have the link for you to check it out. Uber has witnessed employee complaints, protests, and a couple of horror stories from both customers and drivers. It is safe to say that the ease and simplicity of the Uber app is not all rosy. So here are some of the stories. Number 20. Irate rider terrorizes Uber driver and threatens to accuse him of rape. Oh my goodness. An aggressive woman threatened to maliciously accuse an Uber driver of assault and rape after the driver informed her he did not have an iPhone charger. Apparently, the woman's phone was dead and she expected the driver to have a charger. Oh, the me, selfish world that we live in. In the shocking footage, which was recorded by a dash cam, the woman threatens to scream through the window about the man raping her. She adds that she will punch herself in the face and tell cops that the driver is responsible. The incident took place at the corner of 138th Street and Cypress Ave in the Bronx. The foul-mouthed woman continues to hurl racial expletives at the driver, who remains calm even after she dares him to return to his country. My goodness. She repeatedly provokes the driver, claiming that Donald Trump was going to send his family back, and abusively asks him to leave her country. During the short trip, the man repeatedly asked the irate passenger to stop disrespecting him. The woman then threatens him that she is from the Bronx and she can spit in his face. She insists that she will not step out until he calls the cops. Some people, huh? And even at one point, the rider goes bonkers and threatens to call her boyfriend. After the horrifying confrontation, the woman gets up and leaves without bothering to pay for the ride. Oh my goodness. As soon as the woman steps out, the driver is left venting about the unpleasant experience. I'll leave the link, like I said, down below. They actually have a full video that you can watch. Number 19. Uber driver and client fight with weapon in busy southwest London street. Twitter user at McAllars posted the video on 14th January 2017. In the footage, a brawl breaks out between a passenger and an Uber driver in one of London's busy streets near Queenstown Road. The two men are seen throwing violent swings at each other as cars rushed past. At one point, one of the men is seen punching the other, then swinging a weapon before the pair continue to trade blows. Can you imagine driving by this and seeing it? According to onlookers, the weapon resembled what looked like a spanner or wrench. The video was filmed by a London taxi driver going by the name Mick. I'm sure he's thinking, this is why people need to ride in taxi cabs and not Uber. In the footage, an unidentified woman is seen trying to desperately break up the row. Wow, she is ballsy, but she seems to be overwhelmed. According to police, an Uber driver in his 40s reported that he had been assaulted by a passenger that same night. The brawl took place on Wandsworth Road at around midnight. According to an Uber spokesman, it was the Uber driver who had called the police. Number 18. Uber causes a massive fireball. This story is a bit devastating. The incident took place in Seattle and claimed the life of a 35-year-old man who was pronounced dead at Harborview Medical Center. According to news sources, the Uber, which was being driven by a 60-year-old man, plunged into the man's car and caused a fiery explosion at a North Seattle gas station. The man was headed north on Holman Road when his Honda Accord was hit by the Nissan Xterra SUV working for Uber, which was also en route the same direction. After the impact, the Honda veered off into a tree that split into half while the victim was trapped inside. The Uber, on the other hand, lost control and sped down the road, passing through a parking lot before ramming into gas pumps and causing a massive fireball. At the time of the accident, the SUV had a passenger whose life was also at risk. Could you imagine being that passenger? Witness confessed that the 2007 SUV had been speeding when it hit the Honda. Some witnesses disclosed that at one point the Uber was airborne before it smashed into the Shell station on 4th Avenue. The Uber driver and his passenger, a 40-year-old woman, were lucky to survive the ordeal and were rushed to a nearby hospital. Can you believe that? That is absolutely horrifying. Number 17. Talk about a person going postal. Uber driver goes on a shooting spree in Kalamazoo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so forgive me if I have it wrong. On February 20th, 2016, 45-year-old Uber driver Timothy Dalton was involved in a shooting spree. Dalton was accused of killing 6 people and injuring 2 others. The shootings took place in different locations, near a restaurant, at a car dealership, and around a housing complex. And the incidents happened between picking up passengers. Tiana Carruthers, age 25, was the first victim. She survived even though she was critically wounded. Richard Smith and his son Tyler were murdered. That's sad. While they were checking out cars at a dealership, Dalton proceeded to shoot 5 more people, 4 of them fatally in a parking lot just west of Kalamazoo. In his defense, Dalton claimed that he committed the atrocities because the Uber app took control of his mind and body. Yes, I did say that. He revealed that his iPhone instructed him where to go and when to kill. Now, in this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if something could do that, but I'm not giving this man any excuses. He further added that he would have engaged in a shootout with the cops, but the app directed him not to do it. That is just insane. According to Dalton, a symbol, which he believes was the Eastern Star, guys, popped up when he opened the Uber app. Interesting. But the story he told his wife was different. He had confided to his wife that he was in a spat with another cab driver and that someone had tried to shoot him earlier. According to Uber, Dalton had passed background checks, and Kalamazoo County prosecutor confirmed he had no criminal record. So there goes my answer to whether Uber does background checks. This is one of the instances where Uber's screening process has come under fire. Unbelievably crazy. Number 16. Uber driver punches a woman passenger and then throws keys at the woman's baby. Oh, somebody throws anything at my baby, it's on like Donkey Kong. That's all I'm saying. An Uber driver was accused of punching a young mom and throwing the keys at her daughter. According to 25-year-old Anastasia Merritt, the cabbie hit her twice and left her with a black eye before calling her a white bitch. At one point, the driver even tried to drag her back into the car. I chuckle only because I spelled out that word. The Asian driver then threw keys at her 1-year-old daughter, Savannah, and then racially abused the mixed-race child, calling her father a slave. Oh, heck no. Merritt admitted that she had to hit the driver back in her defense. I sure would. And describes the confrontation as one of the most horrible experiences in her life. Yeah. And sadly, according to the young man, the police let him back into his car and he drove off. What? According to the officers who were at the scene, there was not enough evidence to arrest either party, and a community resolution was suggested. That really sucks. Merritt claims she was trying to get her baby seat out of the Uber while trying to unlock the gate. In the process, she asked for a helping hand. Apparently, trouble started when the two disagreed over whether the mother of one would fit Savannah's car seat in the Uber. The driver then became rude and informed her that he does not listen to women. I'm sure all the feminists in the world would really love to hear that one. Merritt also disclosed that the driver made offensive sexist remarks during the entire journey from Croydon to South London. Uber claimed that it had received conflicting stories about the incident. That's kind of where you need to hear both sides of the stories and try to figure it out. That's kind of difficult. Number 15. Uber driver attacks pregnant passenger. Oh no. Myra Julie Graham, a 46-year-old female Uber driver, was accused of allegedly assaulting a pregnant passenger, Atia Abdul Khalik, on January 30th, 2017. 22-year-old Atia from Ohio was visiting her sister in Atlanta on the night of the alleged attack. Mind you guys, she is pregnant. The incident occurred in College Park outside a house that the victim was staying with her friends. According to Atia, who was 2 months pregnant, remember, she was waiting for the ride outside the home, together with a friend. But she saw a driver who had parked a few doors down and thought she might have given the wrong address. So after getting into the car, she asked about it. When she tried to ask Graham more questions, the driver got pissed and asked her in a harsh tone to get out of the car, and if she did not want the ride. But just as she was about to leave the car, Graham grabbed her hair. This is the Uber driver grabbing the pregnant woman's hair and allegedly spun her around before punching her in the eye and kicking her. She continued to attack the mother to be even after the other passenger was trying to save the unborn baby, tried screaming. And when Atia's friend tried to stop the brawl and even sought to call the police, Graham threatened that she would run them over. Talk about anger issues. After the incident, Atia, who had been 10 weeks pregnant, bled for days, and her doctors were worried she was going to miscarry. Uber termed the incident as upsetting, and they claimed they had removed the driver from the app. And I go back again to questioning their process of background checks because Graham was arrested on aggravated assault charge. However, when they did a deeper look into a history, it revealed that she had been previously arrested for battery. You're going to love this one, guys. Psychopath, Miami, chick bullies, and assaults an Uber driver, number 14. On January 2016, a Florida doctor was captured on video bullying and assaulting an Uber driver in the Brickell area of Miami. In the video, the fourth-year neurology resident, identified as Anjali Ramkisoon, is seen berating the driver. She gets more violent and attempts to knee the driver in the groin. When he pushes her off, she comes back for more, cursing and unleashing her anger on his belongings. She gets into the Uber and throws out items through the window because the driver had declined to get inside. She throws out Uber flyers, scissors, a master lock, and the driver's iPhone. Strangely, the enraged woman was trying to get into an Uber that had been ordered by someone else. Oh my goodness. The customer who had ordered the Uber decided to film the heated exchange and posted it on YouTube. At the time of the incident, Ramkisoon was employed by Jackson Health System, but she had to be placed on administrative leave after the video surfaced. In these days and age, guys, there's always somebody with a camera. The pint-sized medical professional was also relieved of all her clinical duties before she was eventually fired. Uber also suspended her account. After the video, Ramkisoon was publicly shamed for her drunken behavior. She, however, came out to defend herself and confided that she deeply regretted her actions that night. She claimed that on that day, her father had been hospitalized and she had been dumped. Ramkisoon revealed that she was sorry she had hurt so many people. I don't know. Tell me what you feel about that. Do you feel bad for the girl? I'm a very compassionate person, but I do not. Number 13. Uber driver repeatedly punches wheelchair cyclist and leaves him lying in the street. In a terrifying road rage incident, an Uber driver allegedly mowed down and punched a physically challenged cyclist. The victim, who was riding a special bike, was left unconscious and bloodied, while his bike was left mangled on Endell Street in Camden. According to a witness named Mick, the drama started after a driver hijacked the cyclist's space. The disabled man then banged the bonnet of the Prius, but his action angered the Uber employee. Okay, so the Uber employee is in a vehicle. This man is in a cycle. So obviously, the man in the cycle is going to lose in a fight between a car and a cyclist. So what is wrong with this Uber employee in the darn car? I don't get people. It's the same with motorcycles. It drives me insane. The 38-year-old driver immediately jumped out and then pounced on the cyclist. It seems the cyclist was trying to overtake the Uber, and this led to the quarrel. What? According to the witness, the brawl only lasted seconds before the enraged driver realized the Uber had ran into a stationary vehicle. He even got angrier and ran back, so he didn't even put it in park, and ran back to punch the cyclist in the face, knocking him out. Wow. 27-year-old victim remained unconscious for about 20 seconds as everyone around stared helplessly. During the entire ordeal, a client was inside the Uber. Can you imagine? Knowing me, because I'm a pretty hot-headed Irish person, I probably would have jumped on the guy and started pounding him. The Uber driver, that is, because I always protect people. Horrified witnesses managed to capture a video, and the Uber driver was apprehended on suspicion of grievous bodily harm. Do you think? Number 12. Uber driver attacks rider for getting snow in his car. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? How do you eliminate getting snow in a car? On December 18, 2016, an Uber driver named oh, I'm so not going to say this right. Munster Abusini tracked the home of one of his passengers and attacked him for getting snow on his car. Now, this says on his car. I think it meant to be in his car. The 34-year-old man and his friend had requested for Uber, but as they stepped into the car, they dirtified, yes, that's the word used, it with some snow. 25-year-old Abusini asked the men to shake off their shoes first, and an argument erupted. The victim then canceled the ride and ejected the car, slamming the door behind him. At the same time, his friend hurled a snowball towards Abusini's automobile. Oh my goodness, really? How old are you people? The Uber driver got enraged and engaged in a brief physical fight with the victim. After leaving the scene, the Uber driver called 911 and asked police officers to meet him at the victim's apartment in Logan Square, Chicago. He had tracked down the location since it had been recorded in the app as the victim's destination. Before heading there, Abusini enlisted 2 other Uber drivers for backup. Meanwhile, the victim and his friend requested for another cab. As requested, the police showed up at the 1800 block of North Fairfield Avenue, but they left after the victim failed to show up. However, Abusini, together with the other drivers, waited patiently for their prey. When the victim finally showed up, Abusini used an extendable baton to hit his head and left him with a black eye and bruises. The attack was so that it left the man needing 9 stitches on his head. Number 11. Passenger claims Uber driver left him in a pool of blood after attacking him. Joseph Fusco, director of public safety at Cabrini College, sued Uber for assault, fraud, and negligence, among other wrongs. According to 30-year-old Fusco, he almost lost his life after an Uber driver declined to drive him to his home in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I'm kind of from that area. Fusco is coming from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which, guys, is like 10 to 20 minutes, okay, depending where in Philadelphia, just to give you an idea. It's a hop, jump, skip over the bridge. That's how close we are to Philly, where I'm from. Fusco was coming from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, read that already. After attending a private function at Kavanaugh's Restaurant and Sports Bar together with friends. After the merrymaking, I like that, after the merrymaking, Fusco requested for an Uber and met the Toyota Corolla on Market Street. But he had failed to input his destination on time, and when the driver asked where he was headed, Fusco replied that he wanted to go to Jersey. The driver responded that he was not going to drive to New Jersey. Why are you an Uber driver? When Fusco asked again, the driver got out of the Uber and pulled the victim out, kicking and beating him even severely, even though he was unconscious. Okay, either this guy's really got some anger issues or we're not hearing the whole entire story. The driver then left him lying in a pool of blood and fled the scene. Fusco suffered facial fractures and lost some teeth. Fortunately, the drama was captured by a surveillance camera. Fusco was later found unconscious and was taken to a nearby hospital. His attacker, identified as 57-year-old Major C. Fuller, was later arrested and charged with aggravated assault. To add salt to injury, oh, you're going to love this, guys. Fusco, the victim, discovered that he had been billed for a 28-minute ride that he did not even use. The company later reimbursed him, but oh my goodness, can you imagine? I would blow my top.
Okay, guys, the last 10 will be in another video. So I thank you so much, and I love and appreciate you for hanging around and watching this video today. Much love to my wonderful peeps, and I'll see you next time. This is Danielle with Celestial Divine Design. Peace and out.